Mr. Mamdani.
I would stay in New York City. My plans are to address New Yorkers across the 5 boroughs and focus on that.
Mr. Mamdani, can I just jump in? Would you visit Israel?
What do you mean?
I'll be doing, as the mayor, I'll be standing up for Jewish New Yorkers, and I'll be meeting them wherever they are across the 5 boroughs, whether that's in their synagogues and temples or at their homes or at the subway platform, because ultimately we need to focus on delivering on their concerns.
And just yes or no, do you believe in a Jewish state
What
of
the
Israel?
I believe Israel has the right to exist.
What the fuck is that?
As a state with equal rights.
He won't
Not as a
say it
Jewish
has a
state.
right to exist as a Jewish state. Be very
And
clear
his
on
answer was no, he won't visit Israel.
I said that
Why
very
do-
clearly.
trying to say.
No, unlike you, I answer questions
no.
very directly,
All right,
and I want to be very clear. I believe every state should be a state of equal rights.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Mamdani. Mr. Blake, where would you go on your first foreign visit as mayor of New York?
My full name is Michael Alexander Blake. I'm named after Michael Manley Alexander Bustamante. So, of course, I'm going to go to Jamaica to mash up the place and fellow patois Jamaicans out here.
Okay. Mr. Stringer?
Maybe I'll go with you.
It would be a great trip.
It would be a great trip.
All right, I'm sorry.
My goal would be to take my first trip to Israel. My wife's life work in this area means a lot to our family, and it could coincide with my young son Miles' bar mitzvah, if he'd like to have his bar mitzvah.
Okay, about a minute left.
Seriously, what does it have to do with New York, though? Because ICE isn't detaining any Jewish immigrants. They're not. Not even the Jewish criminals. They're not. Time and time again, they show who they are loyal to. It doesn't take too many times to get the message, does it?
They just gave away New York's mayoral race to Mamdani in a chicken and rice platter.
What did I just watch? Zohran Mamdani is someone that everybody should be applauding right now. Mamdani is a leading candidate in the New York City mayoral race, okay? And if you haven't managed to watch the NYC mayoral debate, then you definitely need to, and here's why. During Wednesday's debate, their first, by the way, the 9 primary candidates were asked where their first visit abroad would be if they were elected. And can you guess what majority of their answers were? Well, 3 of the candidates, of course, said Israel. Mamdani, though, said that he would stay in New York City. And of course, the interviewers, for whatever reason, took the opportunity to press Mamdani on whether he would consider a visit to Israel at all. Mamdani said this, in quotations, "I believe you need not travel to Israel to stand up for Jewish New Yorkers." And of course, he was asked, yes or no, do you believe in a Jewish state of Israel? And Mamdani said this, right, in quotations, "I believe that Israel has the right to exist as a state with equal rights." And you could probably guess how that went. But my only question here is, why the fuck is that a question in a New York City mayoral primary debate? You know how many times in the past 6 months that I've heard that motherfucking question come up? If you don't see what the fuck is going on by now, you're choosing to sit in a comfortable little corner, not questioning anything outside of it. Wake the fuck up, people. This shit's right in front of you.
Mr. Mamdani, what will be your first international visit as the mayor of New York City? I actually plan on staying here and running the city that I am running to be mayor of. 5 boroughs, New York City, running for New York City mayor. Will you visit the state of Israel? No, because I'm the mayor of New York City and my plan is to run New York City. However, there are many historic Jewish communities here and I plan to support them and visit them here. Do you believe in a Jewish state of Israel? I mean, I believe in Israel's right to exist.
See, he won't say it. He won't say it.
He won't say it. He won't say it. Me personally, the first day I'm in office as mayor of New York City, I'm flying straight to Tel Aviv and sucking the first dick I see. I'm sucking it hard. On a serious note, though, it is currently June 4th. You have until June 14th, 10 days to register to vote in New York City. And the primary election, the Democratic primary, is June 24th. Do not rank Andrew Cuomo. In fact, rank these people. Rank these folks. I'll be posting more in depth about ranked choice voting later this week. I've just been working so much and haven't had much time to make actual content, but do not rank Andrew Cuomo.
I don't care if you don't live in New York City, but you need to be paying attention to their mayoral primary. They just asked the candidates if they could go anywhere. I think like on vacation, where would they go? Cuomo says to isn't real. Tilson thought he ain't talk about I'll make my 4th trip followed by my 5th trip to isn't real. They asked Mamdani and he said he will be focused on New York City and his constituents. Pretty much that's what he said. New York is where I'm focused on because I would be the mayor of New York City. To which one of the Pale Pirates followed up by asking him, well, would you visit Isn't Real? What does that have to do with the price of the eggs in Harlem? I said it the other day, and I will say it again. If you are not paying attention to your local elections, what are you doing? Because need I remind you, these people in Isn't Real are using the tax dollars that you hardworking American citizens are providing for them to have housing, free healthcare, free college. And within the walls of your United States of America, their most poignant questions aren't even circumnavigating the boroughs of New York City, but whether New York City mayoral candidates believe if Isn't Real should be a Jewish state.
On today's episode of Another Country Buying and Selling U.S. Elections, a Democratic primary debate candidate for New York City was asked whether or not they'd visit that other country and whether or not that other country had a right to exist. Do you want to guess which one it is? Right. So when he said that he would help Jewish people by helping people in New York, by helping Jewish people at their places in New York, they were like, but why not over there? But why not over there? And then when they were like not satisfied with that answer, they were like, well, do you think this country has a right to exist as a Jewish state? He said it has a right to exist as an equal rights state. Because no apartheid state has a right to exist. It doesn't matter who the oppressing class is. And if you are not insanely annoyed as a Jewish person that you are being ping-ponged all around in the name of imperialism and colonialism and money, I don't understand where you stand. Because a mayoral candidate for New York City should not be asked whether or not they are visiting another country and his answer be like detrimental to his campaign in the eyes of the people asking. If you wonder why this is happening, it is imperative that you go and follow the money. Because the money, not just federally, not just statewide, but citywide, a lot of our money goes over there. One of the main reasons why that I can think of off the top of my head, I just woke up, the policing system. Their military and our police are like this. So if you don't want another country buying and selling our elections, you need to fucking pay attention and vote for the candidates who don't want to play the game. Because right now they're trying to kick out candidates who don't want to play the imperialism game.
Yo, that debate was wild. It was like,
as mayoral candidates in New York City, what would your first trip be as mayor?
Israel, obviously. Nothing fixes fate in Brooklyn like a quasi federal open Jerusalem. I'll rebuild the Berlin Wall, rename my firstborn to Iron Dome Cuomo. He can tramp persist never again. Back to cities, right?
I'd go to Israel, then Ukraine. Double passport stamps, double travel. I'll personally fist bump Zelensky and come back with menorah in my right hand and a tank shell in the other. If I cry for 2 continents, I think that means I solve anti-Semitism and the MTA.
I just stay in New York and actually address problems here.
So you hate Jews?
He's probably never Instagrammed a synagogue. Can you impeach a candidate?
So you hate bagels?
Just to be clear, none of you plan to visit, like, the Bronx?
You gross, why?
That's a winnable race. That's a race that comes down to voter turnout.
1,000%. But keep in mind that in the last mayoral election,
only 21% of eligible voters participated in the 2021 New York City Council election. We're changing that.
It's not enough to just rank Zoran as #1. You have to fill out all of your slots to keep Cuomo out. It's not just about having Zoran win, it's also preventing Cuomo from having an inkling of a snowball's chance in hell of becoming mayor. Here at the Down Ballot, we're creating a voter guide to help y'all understand who to vote for in the upcoming election, but our focus is really on the city council races. Our friends over at Soft Power Vote just released a ranking guide for any of you who might need help in filling out the remaining slots other than Zoran. So if you're confused, if you don't know who else to pay attention to other than Zoran, if you just want a cheat sheet, go over there and check out their ranking guide. Then come back and stick around for our analysis of all the city council officials that you also should be paying attention to beyond the mayor, because there's so much more on your ballot. We cannot let older conservative New Yorkers determine the future of this city once again. See you there.
What would you do on the first day of being mayor of New York City? Wouldn't you go to Israel? Wouldn't you hop on a plane right away, and go to Israel? Wouldn't you? No? Why? Are you anti-Semitic? Are you anti-Semitic? Is that why you wouldn't go to Israel the first day of being mayor of New York City? You're an anti-Semite, aren't you? Aren't you? Say it. Say it. Say it. Now, mind you, that is only a mild exaggeration of how the New York City mayoral debate went. If you saw the clip, that's kind of how it went. I think Zoran's answer was great. I mean, why, if I was mayor, right? I'm not governor. I'm not president. If I was mayor of New York City, no, I would probably not take a foreign international trip immediately. I would probably stay in fucking New York City and do the work that I was just elected to do, to be the mayor of New York City. What kind of stupid fucking...
Spider-Man, I have a question. Thank you for saving New York City from the Green Goblin. Do you think Israel has a right to defend itself? And why haven't you visited there yet? Follow-up question. Both Iron Man yourself saved the world from Thanos. Do you foresee yourselves both vacationing in Israel to take time off? After graduating high school, what's next for you? What country do you want to visit first, and why is it Israel? Last question here. A bit of a concern. Spider-Man, your name has the letter A in it, which shares the same letter with H.
Am I the only one who didn't get the memo that Israel is the 6th borough of New York City? Also, Michael Blake, where did he come from? He might be getting into my ranking. I love that everyone shaded Zoran's campaign videos because it feels like they're threatened. But the thing is, it's not that he has good marketing, he actually has good policies, and people are overlooking that. Zoran is obviously a very good communicator, and I think it's a requirement for any leadership to be a good communicator. But along with communication, he has a substantial policy plan.
Also, unlike other campaign videos, his videos aren't just like vote for me. His videos are like come canvass with me. Let's talk to our neighbors. Let's build coalition. And I think it's a very beautiful example of building, organizing, solidarity, coalition through an electoral campaign. He's also like not relying on memes and overusing that to just hype himself up. He's like, hey, it's about the rent freeze. It's about cheaper groceries. He's very consistent and has a plan, right? It's not just good videos. It's because the videos come with a good plan. That, I think, is why people are resonating and why this campaign is doing so well.
Enormous news in the last 24 hours of the New York City mayoral race. Last night, the Democratic candidates, including leading contenders Zoran Mamdani and Andrew Cuomo, debated on stage live for the first time. When the debate was over, Mamdani walked off stage and learned he'd been endorsed by Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, the largest endorsement in this Democratic primary. With less than 3 weeks to go in the race, Zoran's campaign has knocked on hundreds of thousands of doors, polling within single digits of Cuomo in the ranked choice voting system. Zoran's running on a campaign of making buses fast and free, freezing the rent, and universal free childcare for New Yorkers. Zoran's a 33-year-old state assemblyman from Queens who immigrated to New York City from Uganda at 6 years old, running against Andrew Cuomo, who resigned in disgrace as governor in 2021 after being credibly accused of sexually harassing 11 different women, perjuring himself before Congress, lying about nursing home deaths in New York, all while enriching himself as an author writing a book about his leadership during the pandemic. Cuomo's taken $1 million contribution from DoorDash. He's bought by the same donors that bought Eric Adams, that put Donald Trump in the White House. This is a no-brainer. New York, rank Zoran number 1, rank Adrian Adams, rank Brad Lander. Do not rank Cuomo. New York City, as we celebrate Pride Month, take notes from RuPaul, and don't fuck it up.
I watched the NYC mayoral debate. It was good. Zoran killed it. Everybody attacked Cuomo as they should. What the fuck was that question at the end? It was a pretty normal debate. Cuomo did terrible. All of his answers were nonsense. Wilson was only there for Israel and there just to like poke jabs at Zoran. But like one of the moderators, specifically the political moderator, she was just like, Zoran, what do you think of Israel? Do you think it has a right to exist as a Jewish state? Basically ask him, do you believe in ethno states? Zoran, the answer is yes, by the way. Or like the one question where everybody's like, oh, where would you go after you become mayor? Zoran, would you go to Israel? Yes or no? The correct answer is yes. And if you say no, you're probably an anti-Semite. What the fuck, Politico? This is who you send for your mayoral debates? Embarrassing.
So let's talk about the New York City mayoral debate. Couple of words. Hot garbage. With the exception of one person, I might add, Zoran, you, sir, should be the next mayor of New York City. The reason why I say that is because Zoran was focused. He got up there and he gave his plans of what he planned to do if he was mayor of New York City, and he didn't allow them to get him with the gotcha questions. He was prepared. One of the gotcha questions that they attempted to get him with was, where would you go in your first days as mayor of New York City? Now, this was meant to be asked because they wanted people to, all of these people, they wanted them to say Israel. A couple of people did say, I would go to the Holy Land. I would go to Israel. Of course I would go to Israel. Zoran said, I would stay here in New York City and work with New Yorkers because why would I go anywhere else? And for some reason, Cuomo and a bunch of others on the stage got upset that he didn't say Israel. He didn't bend the knee to the Israeli government. And they wanted that soundbite so bad where he was basically denying Israel's right to existence. Because that's what happens with types like Cuomo. Whenever there's a conversation around Israel, they try to divert attention to something that really doesn't matter in the grand scheme of the conversation, because Israel does exist. So having a debate about Israel's right to exist really doesn't matter, but they want to put it on that so that they can paint you as anti-Semitic. The only Muslim candidate on the stage, they attempt to paint him as anti-Semitic. Zoran answered the question. He said Israel does have a right to exist, and they have a right of self-determination. Any free and fair nation should have the right to exist. The free and fair is interesting, Zoran. I caught it because, yeah, hell yeah. Because Palestinians are treated regularly as second-class citizens, and they don't have freedom to even move in the state of Israel. And they definitely don't have a right to return, which is something that the Israeli government is vehemently opposed to when it comes to Palestinians. And the international law basically says that all peoples should have access to right to return. I just think it's crazy that people are running for mayor of New York City, not Tel Aviv, New York City, and the soundbite that they were trying to get was, I won't go to Israel. That's the soundbite that you guys were trying to get from the only Muslim candidate on the stage. That's the soundbite that you guys were trying to get. Zoran's answer basically said, I'm going to work with Jewish organizations in New York to address their concerns because he's running for mayor of New York City. Anti-Semitism is important to Jewish organizations in New York City. So if anti-Semitism is at the forefront of Jewish organizations in New York City, as mayor of New York City, he will be addressing those issues. But he shouldn't be expected as a U.S. politician to bend the knee to the Israeli government. He's running for mayor of New York City, not Tel Aviv. And the fact that Cuomo and the moderators and a lot of other Democrats on that stage can't seem to understand that really is troubling to me, because you're running, again, as a U.S. politician for a office here in the United States. You're not running for office in Israel. If you believe that civilian populations are not seen as collateral damage, whatever happens to even Israelis would enter that conversation as a hell yeah, this makes sense to me moment. But the problem lies when there are people in our government that get elected to office that don't view black and brown people as humans, as wholly human. And they can disconnect and view those black and brown people that die in these disputes, die in these ethnic cleansings, die in these genocides as collateral damage. So if I could vote for a mayoral candidate in New York City, I would vote for Zoran Mamdani, hands down. Wouldn't even think about it.
Yes, your politician is a Zionist and still is going to stand with Israel. Yes. I am tired of the videos of us trying to do like a gotcha on these politicians. Like, are you still going to stand with Israel? Even as they're starving children in Gaza? Even if they ethnically cleanse everybody? Like, yes. They hate us. They hate black people. They hate gay people. They hate Palestinians. They hate Muslims. They hate poor people. They hate us, y'all. They hate us. We don't have to do the gotcha, okay? We don't have to do that. Let's just figure out what we gonna do, because fuck these people at this point. Like, fuck them. They don't give a fuck. They do not care. This is also why Zionists can't talk to black Americans. Maybe black people in general, but particularly black Americans. Because it's like, there's nothing y'all can say to us that is gonna make this make sense. Not when you enslaved our people for 400 some years. Not when we still have no reparations. Oh, we deserve an ethno-state, bitch. Where, why, how, for what reason, and why not us? No, please get the fuck up out of my face, please, and thank you. I just encourage everyone to stop talking to them. Just, if we're not throwing hands at this point, what the fuck are we doing? Was it Mother Maya Angelou? She said, when someone tells you who they are the first time, believe them. Believe them, baby. Believe them.
Watching the New York City mayoral Democratic primary debate genuinely made me trip balls. Why are all of these men who are going up there to supposedly claim that they're the ones who can represent New York City in the United States, why on earth are they being pressed on whether or not they would make a visit to the white and blue country? And this guy, Zoran Mamdani, was pressed and essentially insinuated to be anti-Semitic by both the moderators and the other candidates for not saying, yes, I would love to make a visit to the white and blue country. These guys were like, yes, I would very much make a visit. Yes, I've visited 4 times. I'll visit again. This guy literally said, yeah, I'm more committed to staying in New York, where I will be the mayor, where I am responsible for governing, where people need me to be paying attention. These guys are all looking at him like, oh, how dare he not use taxpayer money to leave the country and go and visit a massive donor for the Democratic Party. Your average Democrat, in my view, is better than your average Republican, right? You are in less danger from your average Democrat. But there are some serious problems with this system, especially since these two seem to be competing to see who can have the biggest I support the white and blue country pin on them. This guy seems like the only half-sensible candidate. The only one that isn't just repeating the same lines. That's probably why they're already against him. But just what an absolutely bonkers way of measuring how electable you are, whether you'd be willing to swear allegiance to a foreign government.
Word, so we have a 6th borough and it is called Israel. Interesting, I didn't know. So apparently they're asking, they were asking everybody, would you go to Israel or where would you go? Some of them said Israel, and that became the prerequisite because when Zoran, I hope I'm saying his name right, was like, I would stay in New York because, hello, if I'm running for mayor of New York, so I want to make sure that everybody in New York is good. They could not accept that answer. It was wild. Like, it was almost like they were trying to villainize him for not saying he wants to go to Israel. I didn't realize that was a prerequisite for fixing all the problems in our city. You know what I want? Okay? As a native New Yorker, this is what I want. I don't want rats to keep getting on the train with me and asking me for directions. Okay? I don't want that. I don't want crazy people to, walk next to me and threaten my life. I don't want that. I don't want to have to pay for service that is, well, this train is delayed, so good luck. I don't want to have to come on a platform, see a bunch of cops, have a crazy person harass me, and then realize that all those cops on the platform are just there to make sure you pay your fare. They don't care what else happens to you. Just pay your fare. I want a mayor that's not going to be corrupt. I want better wages. I want better housing opportunities. I want better education opportunities and better schools. I want teachers not to have to pay for their own supplies. I want all neighborhoods to be lifted up, not just the one that transplants are moving to. I want more opportunities for people who are actually from here and not the people moving here, leapfrogging over us like we don't matter. Those are the things I want. I don't care where you vacation, sir. I don't care where you're going to go visit. Visit Brooklyn. We got a lot of problems.
Yeah, I too, as the mayor of New York, would go to the foreign nation of Israel the first moment I win. That's the place that I'm choosing. Every single one of them, except for Zoran and one other guy, said Israel. Israel, the foreign nation of Israel. No other state, nowhere within New York, just Israel, just a random fucking country. Like, all of these people said, okay, daily war crimes, the most, like, sadistic footage and barbaric actions of genocide that, like, anyone has ever witnessed. And they said, bet, I want to go there. That is the state that I want to support. There are, like, so many countries in the world that's the one that I want to go to after I win this. Way that they literally see Israel as, like, another state. Like, as opposed to a foreign state, a foreign nation. It's not our problem. A country that is not our problem. They just treat it like it's the heartland of America. It's so fucking weird. I feel like they do it because they think New York Jews like this shit. They do not. They do not. They're not associated with Israel. They are not Israeli. They are from New York. Like, cut it out. It's fucking weird. And particularly sadistic in the middle of that state conducting a genocide. Why the fuck are you trying to support them? Why are you trying to show your support for them?
And on that note, I just think it's funny that none of the popular New York City influencer girls have come forward and said a word about the mayoral elections at all. And it's one thing to say, like, oh, politics isn't really their content, but a lot of these girls were so happy to come forward and say that we're not Trumpies, we didn't vote for Trump, and that it is important to know where your favorite influencers or content creators align politically. But in the year 2025, 10 years into the man's political career, Trump is bad. That's the best you got. That's the extent of your political activism and knowledge. You don't get a cookie for that. You don't get any points for that. And when your whole shtick is being a New York City influencer and being a girl in her 20s living in the city, why wouldn't you take the time to use your platform and talk about things that are happening right now in your community and are affecting everybody who lives in it? I don't get it.